You just finished a $50 dinner, but the bill says $72. You tipped 20%, but there's a 5% wellness fee and a 3% kitchen surcharge you never agreed to. This isn't just a bad night out, it's the new American reality. Sit with that for a second. You did the math in your head before you even ordered. You knew what dinner was supposed to cost. You budgeted for the tip. And then the check arrives and it's $22 heavier than the menu promised. Nobody warned you. Nobody asked. The fees were just there, printed in tiny gray ink at the bottom, hoping you wouldn't squint hard enough to notice. And here's the part that should make you angry. This is happening to you everywhere, not just at dinner, at the hotel, on the flight, in your insurance bill, on the app you used to order groceries this morning. It's death by 1,000 tiny cuts, and every single cut has a friendly little name. Notice the language they use, too. It's never a "we're charging you more" fee. It's a wellness fee, a service fee, a convenience fee. They dress it up in words that sound like they're doing you a favor, as if the $3 is floating off somewhere warm and fuzzy. It's marketing applied to the act of taking your money. And it works, because soft words make it hard to push back. While the official inflation numbers tell you one story, your bank account is telling you another. Welcome to the era of the invisible tax. Companies are terrified of raising their base prices and losing you, so they're hiding the cost of living in the fine print. Think about how clever that is. If a restaurant raises the price of a burger from $15 to $18, you notice, you feel it. You might go somewhere else. But if they keep the burger at $15 and add a service fee, a wellness fee, and a card processing fee at the bottom, you've already eaten. You're already committed. You're not going to make a scene over $4, so you pay it, and they win. This is the genius of the invisible tax. It moves the price increase to a moment when you have no power left to say no. The menu lures you in, the fees catch you on the way out. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to expose where these fees are hiding, from your car insurance to your grocery app. And more importantly, I'll show you the 3 specific moves you can make to opt out and keep that 20% in your pocket. Because in 2026, being financially literate isn't enough. You have to be fee-proof. So if you've ever stared at a receipt and thought, wait, what is this charge? You're in exactly the right place. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at a bill the same way again. Let's pull back the curtain. Let me start with a question. When was the last time a hotel actually cleaned your room every day? I'm serious. Think back. A few years ago, you checked in, you left in the morning, and by the time you got back, the bed was made, the towels were fresh, the trash was gone. Today, you hang a little card on the door and beg for housekeeping. And if you forget, your room just stays dirty for 4 days. Same price, worse stay. That's not an accident, that's a strategy. And it has a name. You've heard of shrinkflation. That's when the bag of chips gets smaller but the price stays the same. The cereal box quietly loses 2 ounces. The roll of paper towels has fewer sheets. We've all caught it. But shrinkflation is the old game. There's a newer, sneakier cousin, and it's called skimpflation. Skimpflation is when the product doesn't shrink, the service does. You pay the same, but you get less care, fewer people, lower quality. The hotel still charges resort prices, but now you clean your own room. The airline still sells you a seat, but they've shaved the legroom down inch by inch until your knees are in the seat back. Same ticket price, less seat, less human. And because there's no shrinking package to photograph and post online, skimpflation is almost invisible. You can't hold up a receipt and say, look, this is smaller. You just feel a little worse about the experience and you can't quite explain why. That feeling, that's the tax. You're paying full price for a stripped-down version of what you used to get. Now let me tell you where a lot of these surcharges actually came from, because the story is important. A few years back, The cost of keeping American workers went up. Wages rose, benefits cost more, hiring got harder. Real pressures, real costs. So businesses did something that sounds reasonable at first. They added a small, temporary surcharge to cover it. A kitchen appreciation fee. A team wellness fee. A line that said, basically, we're passing along the cost of taking care of our people. And honestly, a lot of customers were fine with that. It felt fair. But here's what happened next. The temporary fee never left. The crisis it was supposed to cover faded, costs stabilized, and the surcharge stayed right there on the receipt, quietly collecting 3 to 5% on every single transaction, forever. Restaurants are the clearest example. Walk into a lot of American restaurants today, and you'll find a service fee or kitchen fee baked into the bill, on top of the tip you're still expected to leave. So you're effectively tipping twice, once for the fee, once for the server. And the wild part is, the menu prices usually went up too. The fee didn't replace a price increase, it got added on top of one. That's the labor gap trick. A real problem opened the door, and the surcharge walked in, kicked off its shoes, and never left. The crisis was real. The fee outliving it by years? That's just profit wearing the costume of a hardship. But the most sophisticated version of the invisible tax isn't on a paper receipt at all. It's on your phone, and it's watching you. Let me paint the picture. You open a rideshare app on a Friday night. The price is $28. You hesitate. You close the app to check a competitor. You come back, and somehow it's 24. Did the traffic change? No. The algorithm just learned something about you. It learned you were willing to walk away. So it blinked first. Here's what's really happening. Apps like Uber, DoorDash, and Expedia use artificial intelligence to test, in real time, exactly how much you personally are willing to pay before you give up and close the app. It's not one price for everyone anymore. It's a constant experiment, running on you every time you tap. The system watches everything: what phone you're using, what time it is, how often you order, whether you usually pay without flinching. And it nudges the fees, the service fee, the small order fee, the busy area fee, right up to the edge of your breaking point. Not past it, just to the edge. Because if you abandon the cart, they make zero. But if they find your exact ceiling, they make the maximum. You are not a customer being charged a fair price. You are a test subject in a pricing experiment, and the experiment runs millions of times a day. The fees aren't fixed, they're personalized, engineered to extract the most they can from you, specifically. And the receipt is designed to keep you in the dark. Ever notice how the fees only fully reveal themselves at the very last screen, after you've picked your food, entered your address, and you're one tap from done? That's not laziness, that's choreography. They show you the low number first to get you committed, then layer the fees on at the exact moment quitting feels like more effort than just paying. By the time you see the real total, you're psychologically already out the door with the bag in your hand. And that's the whole picture of 2026. Shrinking service, surcharges that never die, and algorithms quietly figuring out your number. 3 forces, 1 wallet, yours. So the obvious question is, what do you actually do about it? Let's get to the part that puts money back in your pocket. Strategy 1. Check the math. This is the easiest $100 you might ever find, and it's hiding in plain sight on your own credit card statement. Right now, pause this video, pull up your last 2 months of statements, and read every single line. Not the total, every line. You are looking for 2 things. First, zombie subscriptions. The free trial that started charging you. The streaming service you forgot you had. The app that auto-renewed at twice the intro price. The average American is bleeding money on 3 or 4 of these and has no idea. Second, look for automatic convenience fees. The paper statement fee, the processing fee, the minimum balance fee your bank quietly tacks on. When you find one, here's the move. For a subscription, cancel it directly. For a junk fee, call the company and say plainly, "I'd like this fee removed or I'll be moving my business." You will be shocked how often they just say yes. They count on you never looking. The moment you look, you have power. This one audit, done once, can save you $50 to $200 a month. Strategy 2. Cash is king again. This one feels almost too simple, but it's real and it's free money. A growing number of American businesses now charge you more to pay with a card, because card processing eats into their margins. So they offer a cash discount, usually 3 to 5%, if you pay with paper. You'll see this most at gas stations, independent restaurants, local mechanics, corner stores, barbershops, and small family-owned shops. Some post a sign, many don't. So you simply ask, "Is there a discount if I pay cash?" That's the whole script, 8 words. Now, I'm not telling you to carry a fat roll of bills everywhere, but for your regular spots, the gas station you fill up at every week, the local lunch place, paying cash is an instant, effortless raise on money you are going to spend anyway. No app, no points, no catch. For a household that fills the tank weekly and eats out a couple times a week, this alone can save you $20 to $40 a month. And there's a bonus most people miss. Paying cash makes you spend a little less overall, because handing over physical bills hurts more than tapping a card. The card numbs you. Cash keeps you honest. Strategy 3. The negotiation scripts. The 2 biggest recurring bills most people overpay on are internet and insurance, and almost nobody calls to fight them. The companies are betting on your silence, so let's break it. Here are 2 scripts you can read off your phone right now. For your internet provider, you call retention and say this, word for word. "I noticed a price hike without a change in service. What loyalty discounts are available to bring this back to the original rate?" Then, and this is the key, you go quiet. You let the silence sit. 9 times out of 10, they have a discount they're authorized to offer the moment you ask. For your car or home insurance, you call and say, "I've been a loyal customer and I've received a lower quote elsewhere for the same coverage. Before I switch, what can you do to keep my business?" You don't even need the other quote in hand. Just being willing to walk moves the needle. Block out 20 minutes. Make both calls. This can easily save you $30 to $80 a month for the price of 2 phone calls a year. Strategy 4. Local arbitrage. Here's the big picture move. Whenever you can, swap the giant algorithmic chain for a local business, and swap your big national bank for a credit union. Why? Because the local coffee shop isn't running an AI experiment on your wallet. The credit union isn't engineering 30 new fee categories to hit a quarterly target. They're owned by members, not shareholders, so their incentives are simpler and their fee structures are far more transparent. Lower overdraft fees, better savings rates, real humans on the phone. Now, let me be honest with you, because you deserve honesty. The local option isn't always cheaper at the sticker level, and it's sometimes less convenient. The chain might be open later. The big bank's app might be slicker. That's a real trade-off, and I won't pretend it isn't. But what you're buying with local is predictability. No surprise surcharges, no algorithm probing your breaking point, no fee that quietly triples next year. Moving your everyday banking and a chunk of your spending to local and member-owned options can save you $25 to $60 a month, and a whole lot of frustration. So let's add that up. The statement audit, the cash discounts, the 2 phone calls, the local swap. Stack those together and you're realistically looking at $100 to $300 a month staying in your pocket. Money the invisible tax was quietly siphoning out without your permission. That's not a coupon. That's a raise you gave yourself. And notice what every one of those moves had in common. None of them required more income. None of them required a budget spreadsheet or giving up your morning coffee. They just required you to stop being the easy target, to look, to ask, to make the call. The invisible tax only works on people who don't pay attention. The moment you start reading the fine print, you fall off their list. But before you go, I genuinely want to hear from you. What is the most ridiculous hidden fee you've seen lately? Was it at a restaurant? A hotel? Your last flight? Drop it in the comments. Let's expose these companies together. Seriously, I read these, and the most outrageous ones are getting pinned to the top. The more we name them out loud, the harder it gets for them to keep hiding. And here's your next step. Saving the money is only half the battle. Now that you've saved that extra 20%, here is exactly where you should be putting it to beat the system. I made a full video on how to start investing even with very little money. It's linked right here, and it's the perfect next move. Go watch it the second this ends. Because here's the truth in 2026. The system is built to make you feel powerless, to make you shrug and just pay it. But you're not powerless. You're paying attention now. And a person who reads the fine print, asks the question, and makes the call is a person nobody can quietly tax anymore. You're not just financially literate, you're fee-proof. Now go take your money back.